Hi everybody, Heather here. I've been wanting to do a video on how I did meal planning, especially for my mom and for Trey's mom for the 21-day fix. And I'm sitting here on the floor of our living room right now at the coffee table, which is very similar to where I was whenever I put their meal plans together. And basically I just reached for a Post-it note pad. This was kind of the first way of putting it together that came to mind for me. And I like the fact that if I write the stuff on the Post-it notes, I can move the Post-it notes around and make them work for whatever fits best for the situation. And if I need to change something, I just pick up that Post-it note and move it to another spot. So it's very flexible for me. I don't really like erasing and scratching out stuff and whatever, maybe a little OCD tendencies there. But the first thing that you need when putting this together is you need to raid your child's marker stash. Now, I didn't have the marker stash when I put this together for our moms, but I just wrote down the color. Now, what I do is for you guys, I took out the green marker, and I like it if you're a very visual person, do what works best for you. To me, this is like a game. And maybe that's screwed up in the head, I don't know, but it's kind of fun trying to make all of these things work together. And doing this sort of thing is what I've done for the past 15 years as a dietitian, putting meal plans together for people. So I actually kind of wish that I had come up with this little Post-it note thing a long time ago, and I could have had them playing with it on my desk. I can just see what that might have been like. So what I've done is I'm actually going to be kind of playing around with this using the 18 to basically 2100 calorie meal plan that's here. Now, our moms, when we did theirs, they're in this first tier here, and when I did mine, I'm in the second, but I realized that the third and fourth ones, I think, are the most overwhelming for people because it has the most quantity in it, and you're not quite sure where to put everything. So I would say in these two groups, you're going to see snacks come up more often just because you're probably going to feel like it's just too much food at a particular mealtime. What I always love is how everyone is so surprised at how much food you can actually fit into even 1,500 calories, what that actually looks like when it's good, wholesome food. No, it doesn't look like a lot when it's a hamburger and fries, but it sure does look like a lot more when it's vegetables and lean meats and fruits coming in. So that's one of the nice things that you kind of realize once you start eating healthier. You've got a lot more options and quite a bit more volume too. So I've got everything already listed out. I did it in advance. You don't have to watch that boring part. But so I've got 5 green Post-it notes. They say green. And then I like to put a little reminder there of what it is. So it says green and then veg. And then I've got 3 purple, which is fruit. And then I've got 5 red, which I've written down protein/meat. And then I have 4 yellow, which are your starch. 1 orange, 1 blue, and then 5 teaspoons. And those are for your fats over there on the side. And then I've also got Post-it notes up here for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, BLD. And that's just going to help me to kind of keep track there. Now, in between, I'll be putting in snack items. So if I think that something's kind of overflow, I'm going to fit it into that snack group there. So when you see me put that in between, the first thing we're going to do is let's get our Shakeology out of the way. And I'll use myself as an example. So the Shakeology is going to count as 1 red. And then I also put fruit in mine. So I put a banana in. Half a banana is going to be 1 purple. And then if you add peanut butter to yours, and I know a lot of you do, especially to the chocolate, then we, in our house, we normally add 1 tablespoon of peanut butter. And so that's going to be 3 of these. So 3 teaspoons is going to make up a tablespoon. So we'll put those 3 teaspoon ones over here with our Shakeology. And let me see, did I forget anything? I forgot the yellow container, which we'll use for our unsweetened almond milk. That'll go here at breakfast as well. So now we've got all those taken care of, and we can move on to some of the other meals. One of the easiest things to do is to, just assume you want to have vegetables at each of the meals. And those of you who have followed my portion plate guide before know that I recommend filling up half your plate with vegetables, and that's pretty general recommendation. So get your vegetables out of the way. You want to get probably 2 veggie servings at lunch. So I'm just going to take 2 of them over here, and 2 veggie servings at dinner. And look how nicely that works out. Whoops. All right, so 2 of those lovely green containers full of vegetables. Now that could be a salad, that could be steamed broccoli, it could be cabbage, it could be spinach, it could be whatever, anything from that group. Now, you know, when you're looking at all of these containers, sometimes the list, even though I feel like the lists aren't crazy long, they're doable, but go through this list and put checks next to things that you are typically going to eat. Don't bombard yourself with all the other stuff. You can, each week you can change and maybe change it up and put some new fruits or new vegetables into the mix. But don't be overwhelmed by this. You know, look at it, see what's reasonable for you. If it's easy for you to take a couple of small tangerines or a sliced apple or something for to go along with meals or with snacks, then go ahead and do that. Just mark it. Don't get overwhelmed by things. It's no need to get overwhelmed by it. All right, so we've got our vegetables here. They're already taken care of. We know that we have to have meat, right, at each of our meals, or a meat substitute, something from the protein group. So I want to pull at least 1 red container over to each of those meals. Now, one of the things that is really important is, even at a mealtime and at a snack time, to kind of couple your carbohydrate with your protein. And that the protein there just helps to keep the carbs with you a little bit longer, so you're not feeling really hungry going into your next meal. So having said that, we could move I'm going to scooch this yellow down a little bit so it's out of the way. We can actually put a fruit at each of our snack times, right? And then we could actually couple that then with something that is high in protein. Okay? All right, so we've got those taken care of. I mean, this might be cottage cheese and pineapple, right? That's easy enough. Or this could be the Greek yogurt with blueberries added. And let me just tell you, like, this is a huge snack volume-wise. It's a yummy snack too. All right, then we have our starches. Now, the easiest thing to do is probably put one of these starches with each of your meals, each of your main meals. So we've got one of the starches with lunch, one of the starches with dinner, and we've got an extra starch hanging out over here, which is totally fine, okay? We're going to leave it here for a second. We're going to fill in when we get done. So we want to kind of think of what's most realistic at our meals. Now, you're probably going to be cooking with something at dinner time. You may not really have much along the lines of, cooked items necessarily at your lunch, but at dinner time, you might be cooking some of your vegetables or maybe your meat along with a little bit of oil, for instance. So if we had our olive oil, we'll put 2 teaspoons rather of oil to go along with our dinner so that we know we've got that there for cooking purposes. Now, at lunchtime, that would be a great time to have a salad, perhaps. And so we can pull orange in here for our dressing. So orange is going to be seeds or dressing, and that's a great place to have that is at lunchtime. But these might flip-flop for you, and that's totally fine. You work whatever works best for you. And then we've got blue, avocado, and nuts. I'm just putting these on as reminders because these are foods that I would use most often from that group. And so I might stick an avocado onto my salad. Okay? Now you can notice my meals really aren't the same size going across the day, but quite honestly, like if I were eating this amount of calories, I couldn't really eat anything more than what's listed right here as a snack. Maybe you can. So you can pull some of the things from your meals over if you wanted to pull a vegetable over. Maybe that would be a good thing to pull over. But otherwise, we've got this kind of pretty well laid out. Now we do have a starch left over, and we've got a veggie left over. So you can actually pull those into your snacks if you wanted to, or you can pull it in and kind of keep it with one of your meals. Maybe you want to do a little more at your dinner time or a little more at your lunchtime, or you want to pull these in perhaps at your snack time. So this really could be oatmeal with some oatmeal for your starch with some blueberries, and then the Greek yogurt, or that could be an egg. So it's almost like a second breakfast here. And then over here, if you're doing the cottage cheese and the pineapple, for instance, maybe you're going to have some baby carrots on the side. All right, so look at that. We got rid of all of our Post-its that were here, and we pulled them in at these meals. The next step is for you to actually put this on a piece of paper and write down breakfast, and then write each of your colors, red, purple, anything that's going in there. And then I want you to look at your list, and you are just going to pull from the list what you want to have, okay? So that's going to be like an entirely additional video, but the most important thing is for you to kind of figure out what your foundation is. I would really encourage you to stick to, and this is kind of a personal preference, but just to stick to what you've come up with as kind of your base plan, and maybe just kind of switch around between your snacks. If you find that you don't really need the snack that's here in between breakfast and lunch because your breakfast holds you just fine until your lunch, maybe there's only a 3 or a 4 hour difference there, feel free to pull the snack into after dinner about an hour before you go to bed. So maybe your dinner's early around 6 and you don't go to bed until 11, then you could pull that snack in around 9:30, and that gives you a little something to go through the night, and is especially effective if you like early morning workouts, but you don't want to eat your breakfast right before because you don't want to throw it up. So if you have that snack the night before, then that gives you some energy to get through your workout the next morning. All right. I hope that this was something that you guys understood. Just to kind of break it down for you again, for this particular meal plan, at breakfast I did 1 red, 1 purple, 3 teaspoons, which I used peanut butter for, and 1 yellow. At the snack, purple, red, and yellow. At lunch, 2 greens, 1 red, 1 yellow, 1 orange, 1 blue. At an afternoon snack time, I've used a purple, a red, and a green. And then at dinner time, 2 greens, 1 red, 1 yellow, and 2 teaspoons. All right, I hope that that was helpful. And I know that things may be kind of switched up a little bit from person to person. But again, this was for the 1,800 to 2,100 calorie group. You can use the same principle for any of the meal plans that are listed. So enjoy the meal planning, and if you have any questions whatsoever, I'm so happy to answer them and to help you get your meals figured out. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.